Our last story today is about corn for alcohol, but we're not talking about ethanol for cars. A small distillery in Iowa on the Mississippi River is using locally grown corn to make its spirits. The owners hope the local food extends itself to alcohol for human consumption. Market to Market's Paul Yeager explains.
Corn is, by far, America's most abundant grain. Despite the worst drought in half a century, U.S. farmers will produce an estimated 10.7 billion bushels this fall. And while soybeans also are ubiquitous in Iowa, you can't swing a dead cat in the nation's top corn-producing state and not hit a cornfield. All that corn eventually heads to market, bound for consumers all over the world, where the commodity is highly valued for food, feed, or fuel. On the fuel side of that equation, the Agriculture Department estimates that up to 40% of this year's harvest is bound for ethanol production. But some Iowa farmers are distilling their corn in an entirely different form of grain alcohol.
We got grain as far as the eye can see, and I tell everyone it's the ultimate form of value-added agriculture, because you take $5 of corn that would make $10 of ethanol and make it into $50 of whiskey. So, you know, get it out there, let's use it.
That value-added approach embodies the eastern Iowa-based Mississippi River Distilling Company. Brothers Garrett and Ryan Burchett built their operation primarily to tap into the tourism opportunity by showing visitors all aspects of the business. But they realized when the operation was in its infancy, they might also be able to capitalize on the growing local food movement.
It's all about trying to be as close to home as possible, and we showcase that in the products that we make, the batch notes that we do where people can find out where their bottle came from, and everything. Even we showcase local art in the tasting room.
The labels may be designed down the street, but Mississippi River Distilling's commitment to local economies is best exemplified by its primary raw ingredient, corn.
I never thought that I would have a part in that, but we had the opportunity come to us and we jumped on it.
Ryan Clark farms about 1,000 acres with his family near LeClaire, Iowa. The majority of his harvest, and about 60% of America's corn, typically flows down the mighty Mississippi to consumers overseas. The balance of his production historically was fed to livestock. But as one of 3 corn suppliers for Mississippi River Distilling, he also enjoys a third market.
I was excited about it. My wife and I have always tried to support local industry and support anything local going on. When they came to us and told us about what their idea was of using local corn, we thought that was a great idea. We knew it wasn't a huge market, but with the majority of our corn all leaving the country, it was exciting to know that some of it was going to be used not only here in the United States, but right in our own hometown.
When we first opened, one of our farmers came down here and he tried the vodka. And he said, "My corn's in this?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "I think this is the first time I've ever known where it ended up." Each batch uses about 25 bushels. We probably will use somewhere around 2,000 bushels of corn this year. Each bottle that we make has about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of grain.
All told, Mississippi River Distilling will use about 2 semi-loads of corn each year. The Burchetts take regular deliveries of the grain and pay growers the market price. The operation also uses locally grown wheat, barley, and rye and distills them into vodka, gin, and whiskey. The value-added business benefits from a steady stream of tourists who learn the intricacies and intrigue of grain alcohol production. Anything bearing the Mississippi River Distilling label is produced in small batches according to strict protocols. And since selling the booze often proves to be just as demanding, a major hurdle lies in marketing.
I think the biggest challenge for us is just getting word out that we're here. It's still a young enough industry, and people are very brand loyal when it comes to their booze, and getting them to step out of the box and try something different and realize that there are products that are made locally that aren't just as good, but in many cases better than what they might typically get out of a bottle that's come from a giant factory.
Mississippi River Distilling has fared well in several national contests. Hardware is starting to pile up, adding credibility to the upstart company. And while the burgeoning Iowa wine industry may have seemed a bit out of place a decade ago, the tall corn state seems like a natural location to grow a spirit revolution.
We don't really grow grapes around here regularly, but we grow some of the finest grain in the world, and vodka and whiskey and all these are made from grain. So why not be taking this stuff and making it into some spirits? We are on par with what's going on out there, and I would argue that our quality is even better because of the handcrafted steps that we take to really get a clean, smooth product.
Iowa's wine industry first was given a boost by lawmakers, then came legislation advancing beer brewers. The spirit industry, and specifically micro distilleries, also have benefited from law changes, allowing retail sales or tastings at the production plant.
And they changed that law so that if you came here to see us, you could try a little bit of the spirit and you could take a couple bottles with you if you'd like. And if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be here.
That opened the door for tourism, which continues to play a vital role in Mississippi River Distilling's business model. Burchett says relaxed federal and state taxes on distilleries may not be politically popular right now, but the move paved the way for expansion. The state of Iowa's Alcohol and Beverage Division helps distribute Mississippi River Distilling's goods statewide. But Burchett's plans include a wider Corn Belt footprint for his products.
Our vision is to be a little bit bigger micro distillery. If we get too big, we can't do the things that make our products special, the handcrafting and everything that we do. We're really concentrating on the Midwest, where there's a connection to the Mississippi River or a connection to agriculture and the things that we do.
Tourists already flock to LeClaire to visit the home of cable television's American Pickers. And Burchett hopes the travelers stop in and pick up a bottle or two of booze as well. For Market to Market, I'm Paul Yeager.
You can watch this story again on Mississippi River Distilling on our Farm Week website. That's farmweek.msucares.com. You'll also find Farm Week stories on YouTube and Facebook. And we'll also have a link to the Market to Market website where you can see the story as well as read the script. And there will also be a link to Mississippi River Distilling. Again, that's all at farmweek.msucares.com.